So the Maker used time travel to create his ideal Earth by systematically preventing anyone from ever becoming a superhero and establishing the Maker's Council, which is a group of secret supervillains. They rule the world from the shadows, right? Howard Stark, who was a member of this council, sacrificed himself to seal the Maker inside the city, which is a place of the Maker's design where time and space operate completely separate of the outside world. Howard's son then took the codename Iron Lad and began to recruit a network of heroes to take on the Maker's Council and to prepare for the Maker's return. Last month, he broadcast to the entire world the truth about the Maker and his council, and it led to a surge of global unrest. But the seal on the dome surrounding the city was only good for 2 years, and those 2 years are now up. We are in the ultimate endgame now. Now, before we get into it, if y'all aren't already, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button. It helps a lot. If you want to see some short form content from me, go ahead and follow the TikTok and Instagrams that I have linked below. And with that being said, let's get right into it. We open up in 1963, 3 months after the Maker's arrival in the eternal city of Olympia. So much for eternal, he remarks, as he holds King Zuras in his hand in a chokehold, surrounded by a bunch of dead Eternals. No resurrection this time, not for you. I defiled your sacred machine. I reprogrammed her to serve me and deleted the entire Eternals protocol from her memory. From now on, dead means dead, as he is just gouging his eyes out. The venom works fast. It's living abyss extracted from the unbeyond, which actually does sound silly when you say it out loud. These are your final moments. Take them in. And his last words, he's asking why. And he says, because this is the one. It's a world still malleable, brimming with attention, and a reality as flexible as I am. Your race is, by celestial design, antithetical to change. Conflict was inevitable. And let's just take a moment to appreciate this artwork just to show how twisted and flexible, you could say, the Maker really is in this moment. Today I am embarking on a grand experiment, not so different from the one that created you. Perhaps you can appreciate it. Anzaras asks, and if the experiment fails, and that's where we really learn how sinister he really is, how far he really is willing to go, because that's when he says then he'll burn it all down and start again. December 2025, 30 minutes before the return of the Maker, and we check in with Peter Parker and the family. They're remarking how there's been 3 new uprisings in one day: a small town in West Virginia, another in Massachusetts, and the city of Detroit. Jay Jonah's in the background, skeptical, asking if it's verified. Photos and videos can be faked, and this phantom reporter is not an impartial source. We have to confirm. And that's when Iron Lad interrupts and says that he can assure you that it's true. He is there with them now. Detroit has officially joined the Ultimates. Jonah says that they'll quote Stark on that and tells Ben to call his guy in Royal Oak that he was remarking about. Iron Lad interrupts the moment and says that it is time, Peter. Peter responds with, I know, we've already said our goodbyes. Richard thinks he's coming with. Iron Lad has something to say about that. You're a child. Richard responds with, like, you're 3 years older than me, Iron Lad. Emphasis on the lad. Then he pulls out the Picotech suit and he says he has this. Then with the flick of a hand, Iron Lad moves it back over to Peter and says it was for him, and then that is unacceptable. In unison, the Pico suit and Peter, which, mind you, the Pico suit is Peter's personality pretty much, both say, oh man. Richard is appalled. He's just like, you can't do that. And that's when he says that my father built that Picotech suit just before he sacrificed himself for us. It was meant for Peter Parker, and he will need it in the fight ahead. And that's when the suit remarks that he didn't agree. Iron Lad gets a little snappy and goes, you will do what I tell you to do, or I'll roll you back to factory settings and choose a more helpful personality. And that's when we get to the real sappy stuff, when May and Peter are hugging. She doesn't want him to go, and he doesn't want to go either, but he'll be back as soon as he can. MJ just wanted a few weeks. That's all she wanted. A few weeks of peace, a few weeks together. After all they've been through, they deserve a few weeks. And Peter agrees they do, but that's when MJ interrupts, saying that she knows he's number 1 on the list, whatever that means. He has a responsibility, but what about his responsibility to them? Iron Lad has to interrupt and says, I'm sorry, but it's almost time. We have to go, and we have a plan, Mrs. Parker, a good one. And on the way out, Peter is doing his best to reassure them. Hey, you hear that? The smartest people in the world are on my side. I'm going to be fine, guys. I'm going to be home soon. You hear me? I'll be home soon. And we'll see if that's the case. Now we're in Latveria, just outside the city, 10 minutes before the Maker returns. Spidey goes ahead and says, yeah, so we're all going to die, right? And Iron Lad responds with Doom, says that's a statistical certainty. And he's like, yeah, that's what I figured. And Peter thanks both of them for what they did back there. He knew Richard wouldn't, and he couldn't. The Pico Suit responds and kind of digs on them both because he calls him a dummy, but then says, you think he would let our son go on a suicide mission, you know? I'm you. America Chavez comes in and says, we prefer to think of it as a rescue mission. Well put, America, Iron Lad remarks. Is there really a plan, though? Of course, Doom and I have spent relative years developing a way to take control of the city. Once the dome comes down, we'll turn the city itself against the Maker and his city of tomorrow. Solid plan. And that's when Peter, always savvy, okay, but where are all the bad guys? Shouldn't they be here, trying to stop us? The members of the council who still live hide in underground bunkers in distant dimensions, as far away from Ground Zero as possible. Peter gets a little worried. He's like, the Maker's own men don't think they'll survive the city opening, and you don't find that concerning? Why aren't there more of us here? Where are the Ultimates? They are everywhere. Following the message that he broadcasted last month, the uprising has rapidly spread across the globe. New fronts open up every day, and he is currently in 23 places in various capacities. Then we cut to the Triskelion, where he's helping She-Hulk coordinate a movement with over 3 million active members and growing. They have calls for assistance flooding the Ultranet, and someone in the background is worried about a massive storm somewhere in the atmosphere of Kansas. In the east, he's with Captain America and Hawkeye leading irregular forces against Captain Britain and his overworld reinforced Imperial Army. Giants crush entire protest movements under their gargantuan heels, while Techno Merlins see our strategies in tea leaves and the entrails of goats before we even think them up. He's with Luke Cage as he and his Ultimate Avengers, an army of superpowered former prisoners, sweep through the South like a liberating fire. We get to see a pretty cool penance there from Ghost Rider. He's in Martha's Vineyard, breaking the neck of a Gamma-enhanced guard dog. He's in Albuquerque, defending to the wounded. He's in Detroit, watching for retaliatory strikes. He is in Galveston, eliminating a hidden hand recruiting office. As the countdown begins, 5. We have forces in heaven, hell, and everywhere in between. The uprising is bigger than you can imagine, but there's no one to spare. We will have to be enough. 4 seconds. You are now on the Uninet as he broadcasts this message to everybody. This is Iron Lad to the Ultimates. We're about to cross the threshold. 3 seconds. I don't know what comes next. 2 seconds. But I know this isn't the end. Whatever happens, you are all heroes to me. She-Hulk, impatient as ever, is asking what's going down there as Tony says the dome is down. He repeats, the Maker is out of his cage. I can't see anything. Tony, you must see this. That storm, oh, there's the storm again, is breaking atmosphere. Some kind of dust storm, Tony's asking. The dome comes back up, Spidey asks. Iron Lad gets cut from everybody, and Doom is just telling everybody to stay on guard. The dome is back up. He's cut from everybody. We cut to Captain America and Hawkeye, back to Ghost Rider and Luke Cage and the Ultimate Avengers, back to Detroit, and we see now that Iron Lad isn't there, Detroit, there's no one stopping them from shooting the rioters. And on the Triskelion, they notice, my god, it's not a storm. It is the entire hand heli fleet. Now on the command deck of the Beast, we see Nick Fury say, you're mine now, you censored word. Blow them to hell. She-Hulk, wide-eyed, says no, not yet, and then boom, it's blown up. The Ultimates network is down as we flash to different scenarios across the globe of people looking at the Ultimates network, seeing what's going on in the chaos, and now in the dark. We cut back to the people that are now inside of the dome, where Spidey says that his spider sense is going haywire. Either he's having a heart attack or they're in serious trouble. The temporal dome, the Darwin bubble, must have been reactivated somehow, Doom remarks. As Stark says, the math's all different. What is with this fourth dimensional curve? It grew in 3 dimensions, and its radius expanded to encompass us, or to capture anything that might have escaped in the millisecond that the field was down. America Chavez is just like, but why would the Maker do that? He's been trapped for thousands of years. Why would he slam the door shut on his own cell? And that's when Doom is like, he wouldn't. The only reason to do such a thing would be to buy the outside more time, Tony continues. My father, he has to be in there somehow. He's alive. Crazy daddy issues. Doom is a bit more doubtful, though. He says it's unlikely. Howard Stark was a brilliant and resourceful man, but I doubt he could even survive thousands of years in here. The Maker's futuristic power center turned prison, the city. Is this the right place? I thought we were entering some kind of utopian city of tomorrow. I guess tomorrow's seen better days. Doom says that the air has soiled, filmed with greasy particulate matter. Iron Lad tells everybody to keep their masks on. We don't know what we've been breathing. And that's when Spidey's like, wait, she doesn't have a mask. And she's like, well, I don't have to breathe either. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Tony continues, the new Doom changes nothing. We stick to the plan. And then that's when Doom, seemingly distracted, goes, Oh, yes, of course. The city is a living thing, always evolving. This architecture is nothing like it was. But still, we must go there. The central spire. It is almost unrecognizable, but that is the center of the city's nervous system. Tony's like, well, all right, let's go. But trapped again, how many times do I have to get trapped before I learn? Self-reflecting. Out of nowhere, a beam comes out and America tells him to move as she looks like she tackles him. The children of tomorrow have found them. Peter, always with the remarks. They look pretty grown up to him. They were grown in a lab, the Maker's master race, each one genetically engineered to a singular purpose. Doom yells at them as he shoots down one of them. Peter's betting these guys were designed for diplomacy, as the Pico suit yells at him and says, ow, move faster or he'll take over. Even before the dome, they had capacities we couldn't conceive of. That's when Iron Lad has had enough of it. He says, don't worry, I've prepared a countermeasure for this, and pulls out the antimatter machine gun. But look at that. It didn't do anything. He says that's impossible and nothing that exists can. And he gets interrupted by America and says, well, they just did. So what's next, Tony? Peter, now trapped in a claw, honestly, looks very similar to when Doc Ock would have him in his grasp. The Pico suit is saying that they're trying to erase him. And Peter yells out, they're killing us, Stark. What do you want to do? Everybody's looking to Stark for options. And Stark says that the Immortus engine isn't working. He is so sorry. He doesn't know what to do. Out of nowhere, seemingly someone that looks like Iron Man, or at least with Iron Man tech, comes out of nowhere and blasts someone. That's when Tony, back on his daddy stuff, Dad, no! After they get shot out of the sky. But look, it's not. It's actually Death's hand. So they come in and they save today. And Doom is like, who? Tony, what's going on? America questions. And Peter's just thankful that he got saved. He's like, thanks, man. You don't look so good, though. That's when we flash to one of them getting a good hit in on Doom. About to end it when he gets stabbed right through the chest and saved by Death's hand. Language detected, American English 21st century dialect. Tourists, the city is not so friendly for tourists, yes? More children are coming, but you are rare and therefore valuable and worth saving. So, move like citizens, not tourists. Hurry, follow Death's hand. Doom is just like, unhand me. That's when he says Deathlock has been activated as they lock with the children of tomorrow and allow time for the heroes to escape. Spidey, always with the remarks, I'm sure we'll be safe on the other side of that ominously glowing tear in reality. No issues at all. And that's when all the deformed beings blow up with the children of tomorrow as they go through the rift. Doom is yelling at Death's hand to put me down, but they all have questions. Iron Lad is asking, where are we? America's asking, who are you? But Spider-Man is honestly just doesn't understand enough about what's going on to ask a relevant question. And that's when Death's hand says that this, he's Death's hand, a freelance freedom fighter for hire, and you are this one's prisoner and bounty. America's just like, no, we're not a prisoner. We came here willingly. And he says, no, the commander will answer your questions or devolve you to a single-celled organism before you can ask them. One can never be sure which. Either way, this one himself gets paid. And as they walk in, Tony is still on his high horse about his daddy. He's like, it is my father. It has to be. All of this is clearly derived from Stane Stark Iron Man tech. And that's when he gets cut off by Death's hand, who says this one knows nothing of Stark, Stane, or Iron Men. This one serves, on an entirely at-will basis, the commander. Immortus, Lord of Time. And that's when Immortus says, Death's Hand, is that you? I hope you've brought some fresh corpses. I'm almost out of parts. He seems to be building more of those things that we saw earlier. Tony's just like, Father? And Immortus looks at him like, do I know you, boy? Spidey's just like, ouch. And he's like, well, it's me. It's Tony. I'm your son. The son is the father to the man. I've had many fathers, and I've had many sons. You bear my mark, but I don't remember making you. Any of you. Perhaps I haven't made you yet, or perhaps it was so long ago I've forgotten. Guerrilla warfare in 4 dimensions is infinitely more complicated than 3. That's when Doom cuts the shit and says, Stark, Immortus, whatever you want to call yourself, we have come to end the Maker, and we've brought weapons, viruses, and poisons we think can do the job. Can you help us find him? And that honestly gave him a little chuckle. Immortus starts laughing and says, he made them with a sense of humor, and that's delightful. It's not finding the Maker, my forgotten son. It's escaping him. The Maker is the city. Now that is just crazy. I just want to take a moment to appreciate the art in this book. Teddy Dodson and Jonas Scarf truly brought this comic to life for me. And I'm really excited to see where they take it in Ultimate Endgame number 2. I saw a released promo for Ultimate Endgame number 5. Yo, so this is about 3 hours after I recorded that. And I'm editing the video, and I went to look up a cover for the 4th and 5th issue of Ultimate Endgame. So I just now saw issue 4 of Ultimate Endgame, and my boy might be cooked. Bro, he's cooked. He might be cooked. Damn. Like and comment.